Hi there. This is Sarah Fernander, your transformational coach. So yesterday I went on a live and I listened to a gentleman speak about his situation of lust and how he viewed relationship in women and how he changed his life or how God transformed his life into one where now he respects women and he thinks about relationships differently. So I decided that I would come on and talk about why God requires relationship. And it says that God made Adam and Eve for Adam's companionship. He created Eve and all of the other animals, mates, so that they would have a helpmate, one that is suitable to their needs. So it was never really about intimacy in a sexual way, but rather a place or a situation where we can show selflessness. We can show gratitude, sympathy, empathy, and share with one another, giving freely because the word of God says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That is selfishness. Um, it's leaving yourself to a place where you think of the other person more than yourself. Um, in humanity, we know that we consider one another's needs and we consider the fact that everyone needs food, clothes, shelter, and love. But also comes commitment, respect, and loyalty. In marriages, we know that once any of these levels are broken or is not fulfilled, respect isn't there, or love truly isn't there, or, that devotion, people call it emotional intelligence, just knowing when your partner needs you and how to fill the void that they're having, it breaks down a marriage. And so the same thing with family, sisters and brothers, mothers and fathers. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. But also God did not forget the parents and said that fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the fear and admonition of the Lord. Meaning that children should find a safety net in their family and their parents should be respected by the children. Too many kids go around blaming their fathers, their mothers, for things that they have brought on themselves. Yes, there are parents that put their children in dangerous situation, but the Bible also warns about that. And so we know that God has ordained relationships and he showed us and teaches us in his word how to live with one another. Even with friends, he says, a friend will stick closer than a brother. We see it with Jonathan and David. We see it in the Bible when Peter told Jesus that he was going to be by his side, not saying that he did not act in his own fleshly desires. When Jesus was taken into custody, he actually cut off the ear of one of the soldiers because he wanted to defend Jesus. But later on, when Jesus was brought through the streets and was already arrested, he was the first one to deny him. Not saying that he didn't love Jesus, but just knowing that he didn't want to be caught up in what was going on at that time. And after everything, he was one of those that were in the forefront of talking about Jesus after his death and leading so many souls to salvation. Even Paul, who had once been a martyr, a killer of the Jews or unaliving people, for being Christians, then later on became a Christian himself and led a lot of people to salvation wrote many books in the New Testament. And so, in my conclusion, I'm just saying, let's love on one another. Let's accept each other in their own skin and appreciate one another to the best of our abilities and give room in our respect of others for people to be able to make mistakes and correct them, to also be human, because we are not perfect beings. God himself says, come as you are, without money and without price. And so he knows that, hey, there is a certain level of situation that we are going to go through where we're going to need to lay aside every weight that so easily beset us, worrying about what the other person is or is not doing. Didn't Jesus say, stop looking at the log in somebody else's eyes and worry about that which is in your eyes? Isn't that just tremendous? So let's just learn to fix our flaws that we may better ourselves, and then be a better person in our community, with our children, our spouses, our family, our friends. Take this nugget with you today and have a beautiful and wonderful and blessed day. I know I will.